So guys, welcome back to the channel. On this age, hope you guys are doing good. And it's another week of Invincible. Episode 6 just dropped, and I'm here once again to compare the episode to the comics. I've done the same for the previous episodes, so I do hope you check them out. Now let's just get started with this one. And with this episode, yet again, the show expands on the story from the comics. And first of all, in the comics, they never showed any flashback or the perspective from Scott Duvall on how the Invincible versus Omni-Man fight took place, and the death of his sister, and his niece.
I noticed
In the comics, it was all through dialogue. So those scenes with him spending time with his sister and niece before the incident happened, and then him, trying to, get a lawyer to prosecute, Invincible, all those are new in the show. Another new thing was Invincible and Adam Eve and Oliver on a superhero patrol, essentially training Oliver, letting him fight Elephant Man and getting burgers afterwards.
I think because of my Thrax inside, I have like a really good memory. I can remember everything from when I was little.
Now back to Scott Duvall slash Powerplex. He did work in the GDA like the comics, but like I said, the show expanded those scenes of him working there, and it was also a cool way to give the audience a glimpse on the behind the scenes on the workers in the GDA, the scientists, how this they monitor Invincible, the fights, the threats, and all that. In the comics, it was just one panel, and it was only about him being there, having a convo with a co-worker about those discs that he put in himself, it being stolen. Of course, the show also mentioned that how the GDA are closing in on him because of those discs being stolen.
Invincible! Have you no shame for what you've done? The lives you've taken? Powerplex will make you pay!
Now, just like the comics, Scott's wife is in on it, helping him to take down Invincible. Though the show changed Jack, his kid, into literally a baby. In the comics was, as you can see, much more or a little bit older. The show also added more new scenes like Debbie, Oliver, Mark, and Eve, and Paul, that dinner scene and the whole events there. Also the Rex and Ray, their scenes as well, all new in the comics. I said it in the last video, even the past couple of videos. This relationship never happened in the comics. Heck, Shrinking Ray was a dude in the comics, and he was just a background character. They never focused on him, unlike the other characters. The bowling scene was also something new added to the episode. Mark and Amber meeting again. They did, meet in the comics again after they broke up, but it was under a different circumstance, which I don't want to spoil because I know the show will tackle that later on.
All I want is Come on, are we here to celebrate William's birthday or not? Get in the car before your makeup comes off or you lose your tie.
I won't lose it.
Another new thing was the memorial, remembering the victims of that day of Omni-Man versus Invincible, all the victims, that whole scene from them, Mark and Oliver and Debbie and Paul getting there, to that whole Powerplex situation. I'll talk about that later in the video. Now, Powerplex fighting Shapesmith is like in the comics, though that whole speech, Powerplex made before that fight was all new in the episode.
Why is above the law? I want justice! I want...
Plus, Shapesmith actually got his costume in the comics from art, like all other heroes, superheroes do, but in the episode he said he made it from his own body tissue. Another difference is that after Shapesmith turned into Invincible, Powerplex attacked him once and just ran off. He just flew off. But in the episode, he flew off after he thought he had actually killed Smith. Now, the episode made another change in Powerplex's next attack. That was drawing the memorial in the episode where he fought Adam Eve. In the comics, that never happened. In the comics, he actually fought Teen Team, since they left the Guardians of the Globe. But the episode made that change where he fought Adam Eve, and then when he was dealt with, that is when some of the Guardians members came, and then he was arrested, put in the van, and of course he escaped. In the comics, he never got caught until that last encounter with Invincible. The show also made another change where Invincible met with Donald to gain information, on Powerplex cards. This never happened in the comics. Now, moving on to Rudy and Monster Girl's scenes, they did happen in the comics, but the comics never showed the process of Rudy building that belt for Monster Girl. Of course, the show did, and of course, the show tweaked how the belt was tested, and Invincible showed up at the end when they were hugging each other, which didn't happen in the episode. Now, Scott/Powerplex using his wife and kid as bait is just like the comics, though in the episode it indicated it was the wife who came up with the plan, but in the comics it was him all along.
Did he hurt you? What the hell?
You're a monster!
For the pain you caused.
Now, that whole sequence and fight was just like the comics, just with a few tweaks here and there. Like in the show, they made it so that Invincible, after getting that information from Donald, knew who he was dealing with and his motivation. In the comics, it was after Invincible got there that Duval, gave that exposition on why he's doing what he's doing and blaming him for his sister and niece's death. Now, comics Invincible started hitting him a few times before remembering that Teen Team, told him about his weakness. But in the episode, Invincible learns his weakness after he fought Adam Eve.
This is all yours.
Now, afterwards, when Powerplex is locked up and Invincible visits him, it's just like the comics, but the episode did tweak the dialogue a bit. Now, lastly, is that post-credit scene where we see Enstrom Levy. Is it Levy or Levi? Or Levy? Anyways, yeah, we see him alive with Invincible variants. Yep, the Invincible War arc begins. The frame of them all together is just like the comics. They just made changes on how everything was presented, and wow, I can't wait for the next episode. And of course, I will be doing the video comparing the episode to the comics and see how they expand this Invincible War arc and bring it to our screens and see all the changes and the similarities to the comics like this episode. So I do hope you subscribe and turn on that notification bell not to miss that video and more, and also leave a like and comment and share. It does help the video out. Now, that's it for the video. As always, Neddy Sage here. I will see you guys in the next one.
Oh, Dad.